Hi, I'm Sergeant First Class Colton Smith, the Ultimate Fighter Season 16 winner, professional MMA fighter, and the Master Trainer of Combatives at 3 Corps Fort Hood. I'm here to talk to you today about personal readiness and how to optimize your performance. You can follow this on Twitter, #MasterReadiness if you have any questions.
Hi guys, my name's Brad Williams. I'm a performance expert with Comprehensive Soldier and Family Fitness here at Fort Hood, Texas. And I've had the opportunity over the last few years to be one of Colton's performance coaches when it comes to his MMA career. So what we're going to be sharing with you guys today are some techniques that Colton has benefited from both as a soldier and a fighter within the realm of energy management. So what we know when it comes to fighting is that it's very important Colton be able to maintain his cool under pressure. We want him to be able to keep his anxiety at a minimum. So in any situation where his anxiety is higher than he would like, he needs to be able to have some techniques to lower his anxiety level before it's time for the fight. We also know that during the fight, he needs to be able to be as efficient as possible with his use of energy so that his focus is where it needs to be so that he gets the job done in the cage. So without further ado, what we'd like to do is introduce some biofeedback that we brought with us. This biofeedback gives us a nice snapshot of how well Colton is doing in terms of managing his energy efficiently. So if you want to go ahead and zoom in on this screen, what we see here is a screenshot of someone who's been hooked up to our biofeedback who did not yet benefit from the technique we're about to share with you. And what I'd like to point out, green generally means good, and it's no different with this biofeedback. What we would like to see is 100% green, because that would mean that during this particular session or running, the individual is able to maintain their composure, to keep that focus where it needs to be for the fight. So now we're going to demonstrate the technique. I'm going to hit play and run a session with Colton here, and what you're going to see is how high speed he is at being able to use his energy most efficiently, and you're going to see an improvement in terms of the score here or the results. So we can pan back out now. And what I'd like you to do at home, if you want to try this, you can benefit from this as well, even if you're not an MMA fighter. So I'd like you first to put one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach. And I want you to just pay attention to the way that you're breathing right now and to which hand is moving. So what we know is that more efficient breaths occur when we're breathing in and out from the belly or from the diaphragm. We call that diaphragmatic breathing, and Colton is demonstrating that now. If you take a look at his belly hand, that's the one that's doing all the moving. He's able to get in more oxygen in this way so that he can think clearly either before, during the fight, or even between rounds, and he can make the best decisions in the cage. So step one is to breathe diaphragmatically to a specific cadence. And what the science is showing us is that the cadence that's most effective is to breathe in for 4 seconds and breathe out for 4, or breathe in for 5 and out for 5. Since this might be new to you, we're going to try a 4-4 count today. So I'm going to provide the cadence for you guys at home, and I want you to just try to belly breathe along with me. So here we go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead and keep breathing to that cadence if you're trying this at home. I mentioned there's multiple parts to this breathing technique. The first is to breathe from the belly to that cadence. Once we become skilled at that portion of the technique to the point that it's almost automatic, which it happens to be for Colton at this stage in his career, we layer on the next portion of the skill, which has to do with focusing on one thing and staying locked into that one thing instead of many things. We know that the brain can't focus on a bunch of things at once. So Colton is able to focus on what matters most in that moment while he's breathing in this way. And lastly, once he becomes skilled at focusing on one thing in the moment, we layer on the third piece to this deliberate breathing technique, which has to do more with emotion. What we know is that we don't want any emotional extremes, no extreme highs or extreme lows. Basically, we want to be more chill with your emotions. And Colton has learned over the years how to get in that pocket or that zone with his emotions as well. So again, all together, 3 pieces to the technique. We're breathing diaphragmatically to that 4-4 or 5-5 count, focusing on one thing instead of many things, and putting our emotions into neutral or more of a chill sort of state. Where we're going to see the most benefit from this as a technique is once we've trained it enough that it becomes almost automatic. And that's where Colton has been able to go and take this technique. He doesn't have to think about the steps anymore. It's his default setting in a sense. It's the way he generally is able to carry himself, whether it be before, during the fight, or even between rounds. So what I'm going to do now is stop this session on the biofeedback and show you how well he's been able to do. All right, so if we zoom in here, now you see, I'd mentioned that green is good, right? So now you see 100% green for that particular segment in time. And again, what that means is he's been able to balance 2 critical systems of his nervous system and stay in the zone. He's going to be able to be most efficient with his use of energy, to focus where he needs to, and to keep his calm under pressure. So Colton, if you want to say a little bit more about kind of how, you know, this technique has helped you as a fighter and, you know, for Army training.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So upon learning this technique, I mean, I've utilized it in every aspect of my life, whether it be in PT, during a PT test, during a fight, obviously, during training, even at home with my children. All right, you know, you get flustered with your kids sometimes, your heart rate gets up, you start boiling a little bit. These breathing techniques calm you down, give you sound mind. Again, whether you're on the battlefield about to clear a room or be in a house, whether you're downrange, whether you're at the range shooting during iterations, or like I said, a PT test in between, you know, events, working these breathing techniques helps exponentially. And again, we just went over personal readiness and how to optimize your performance. Again, whether it be on the battlefield, in the cage, whatever your arena may be. Okay, next one's going to be, guys, give me the Combatives demo at 1100 Central Standard Time. Again, follow us on Twitter for any question. #MasterReadiness. Thank you very much.